a girl a-running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod. She's my hot rod.
Stuff that you should probably know because it's coming. And you're driving these cars, just like these recalls they do. You're driving these cars. I swear you are. For example, Ford Motor Company is investigating concerns raised by their own employees regarding incorrect calculations were used to translate emissions data, to federal regulators. Also under scrutiny is the test calculators used to announce fuel economy for their current models. In other words, somebody's lying. Well, Ford has stated that they're going to hire an outside firm to check this out. And they insist that they have no defeat device like Volkswagen and Audi and all those other guys have. And that's not installed in their vehicle software. You stay tuned on this one, guys. This could turn out to be another biggie. This could be another one. Lying to the Federal Emissions Bureau is just not right because they're vindictive and they're mostly all young people fresh out of college. Got to justify their jobs. They're going to go after them. They're going to go after them hard. The UAW, these guys are relentless, and I'm telling you, I'm proud of them. The UAW has filed suit against General Motors, arguing that GM is in breach of contract for closing 4 plants. It seems the company wants to relocate the operations of the plants in Ohio, Maryland, Detroit, and Warren, Michigan. Well, during the negotiation of the last 4-year contract, labor pact, the contract, one of GM's selling points to the union was a handshake agreement that they claimed they would close no plants during the 4 years of this contract. I don't know if they got that in writing. If they did, GM's toast. But even if they didn't get it in writing, if they got a handshake, they got a handshake. I mean, General Motors told UAW they were not going to close any plants for 4 years. And now, poof, that goes out the window. Yeah. Well, they say they're relocating and reallocating. They're trying to bust the union. You want my opinion? They're trying to bust the doggone union. And that is not going to work. In the state of Washington, the House of Representatives is considering legislation to require all state and local agencies in that state to purchase only green or electric vehicles for the municipalities when using state and federal monies. Currently, only 1% of these vehicles in that state are electric. I'm telling you, they're going to be one of the first states to go strictly electric, and they're going to be buying all their municipal equipment electric. You know, it was just last week or so we discussed the lower power and range of electric cars and trucks in colder climates. Well, Washington State, that's colder climate, you know? Yeah, it is. So don't you think those cars are at a disadvantage? Unless, of course, they hurry up and fix that. But right now, less range and less power below freezing for the electric cars. And you can understand why. The heater's electric. There's no antifreeze in it. The heater's electric. So what do you got? You got to run the heater. You're using up all your battery power on that doggone heater. You know how much those space heaters take. You've seen the power. You plug in a space heater in your basement, you can watch your electric meter go pew, pew, pew. Like high rate of speed it goes around. Yeah, so let's face it. They got a little work to do. And Washington just better hold on to their horses and not get excited. In the It's About Time category, and this is one of my favorite stories of the week. January 1st, 2020, in the great state of Virginia, if you are caught using a cell phone while at the wheel of a vehicle, it will cost you $125 the first time and $250 every time after. This applies to texting and calling. However, for some reason, when they wrote the law, a loophole in the law allows you to make Snapchat videos or play video games on your phone anytime while you're driving. They can't give you a ticket for that, but they can talk. They can ticket you for talking and texting. How did they manage to leave that out? It's not 2020 yet. Why don't they go ahead and change that law before it goes into effect? Jeez. Why would you do that? That's yeah. This is why I'm not in politics. If you make sense, you're not allowed. Last week, we mourned the last Ford Taurus rolling off the assembly line in Chicago. Well, this week, General Motors has announced that the final Chevy Cruze will roll down the line in Lordstown, Ohio, effectively removing the company, General Motors, from the subcompact market completely. Seriously. Much like their rival Ford, GM is revising its product line around SUVs, crossovers, and trucks of all sizes. Seems that's what everybody wants. And now that mileage is better and gas is cheaper, geez, I hope these gas prices stay low for a while. At least, until we have a solid alternative available. I mean, come on. Well, in a big push not to get left behind, Fiat Chrysler is scrambling. They're going to invest $4.5 billion in 5 plants in Michigan to build their newly designed Jeep model to compete in the large SUV crossover market. We talked last week, the new market is all trucks and SUVs and, big, you would call them gas guzzlers. In the day we called them gas guzzlers, but that's when gas was up to $4 a gallon. Now, hey, I like it. Everybody wants the big cars. Of course, I fit in the bigger cars, so why not? That's my favorite. But this move will actually create 6,500 new jobs for the UAW rank and file in Michigan. Now that's what your car guy is talking about. More jobs, more union labor, more trained people to build these cars. And eventually they're going to be electric anyway, so I guess it's not going to matter if it guzzles gas. But you got to remember, if it costs more to take a heavy vehicle and run it on gas, it's got to cost more electricity. And electricity isn't free. Everybody that thinks these electric cars are all green and eco and it's free and blah, blah, blah. It's not. It's not. They're going to tax you on whatever. They're going to make up for that motor fuel tax. And it's not eco because electricity has to come from somewhere. Have you ever seen a coal electric plant? Huh? No, don't get excited and start talking electric cars and how much they're better for the economy. They are better. They don't emit any emissions. But they use a fossil fuel just like gasoline. The headlines it took over the car business again this week. And we're having nothing but trouble with this guy. He's bad news. We're going to take a phone call right now. Let's see what's happening. Hey, you're on with the car guy. What's up?
Hey, hello. This is Nick Bergudis from the American Legion Riders.
Hey, buddy. How's the Legion Riders doing?
Illinois.
I hear you guys got something cooking, man.
Yeah, we have our annual ride coming up in August 10th.
Okay, where does that go? From where to where, Nick?
Fundraiser of the year.
Yeah.
Well, last year we went down to Aroma Park and up through Wilmington and came back. We had a 126-mile ride. We had like 89 bikes last year. We're hoping to break the 100-mile barrier this year, or the 100-mile, bike, 100 bikes this year.
Okay, and this supports your good causes that you're good all the year, all through the year.
Yeah, it's our biggest thing that we do. It supports the Mantino Veterans Home, homeless veterans, wounded veterans, veterans with PTSD, and first responders.
I got to tell you, there's nothing better. You guys do a great job, Nick.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you,
George.
Nick. And you know what?
Yeah.
I want everybody to know they've got some raffle tickets out there, too, right now. There's all kinds of good stuff going on at that Legion for the Legion Riders because they do good work for good people.
Yes, we do. And I appreciate you having me on.
Not a problem, Nick. Thanks for calling.
Like I say, it's August 10th. If you have a bike, no bike is required. You can bring your car and do the ride, or you could just come at 4 o'clock to the after party.
That sounds more like my
there's
cup of tea,
big
Nick.
raffles and basket raffles, all kinds of good things. Live band, it's a good time.
And it's for our veterans. Anything for our veterans is a good thing.
That's true.
Nick, thanks for calling,
So I think I'd like to thank Billy for having me call in, and thank you for having me.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do a good job. The Legion Riders are good people. They do a great job. And this is PTS for anything for the veterans. Your car guy supports the veterans 150,000%. I just do. I take no backseat on that, and I take no argument on it. I support our veterans, especially our wounded American veterans. Really. All right. Elon Musk. Let's get back to slapping Elon around. Morgan Stanley this week is speculating that Tesla, which is actually about 80% of the electric vehicle market right now. Of course, there isn't a big electric vehicle market now, but they're about 80% of it. They're about to be replaced on top by a Rivian. That's a Detroit startup. We're going to talk about Rivian again in the show. You're going to hear about them again. They focus primarily on what else, of course, SUVs and trucks, because that's what's coming. I mean, that's what everybody wants. Rivian made its debut at the Los Angeles Auto Show in November and is setting the stage to soar into our market with a four-wheeler with a 400-mile range, all electric. Hello. Rivian's going to be a force to be dealt with. Of course, by then, I don't know if Tesla will even be around. The NHTSA is investigating 2 new crashes in Florida of Tesla Model 3s. One is involving a semi, and the other resulted in a fatal fire. This is along with the several other suspicious crashes they already are investigating involving Tesla. The NHTSA is busy involving themselves in Tesla's investigations of crashes and fires, and you name it. Tesla announced last week. Now get this. These stories don't make themselves up. It's crazy. Tesla announced last week that they are abandoning their sales model of factory-owned stores to rely strictly on internet sales. In other words, Tesla owned. You went to buy a Tesla, all it was a showroom. That's all they had. There's no body shop, there's no mechanical shop. There's a showroom and a sales floor, and you could go in there and look at a Tesla and buy it. Well, or you could order it online. Well, now, as of now, they're going to abandon all that and just do strictly internet. Strictly internet. Yeah. A Bloomberg-sponsored report interviewed 17 people who were tired of waiting for their Tesla vehicles this month. They have applied for supposedly their 100% total refund. Seems that nobody's been sent yet, and it's been months, and no refund is coming. So we're talking, that's 17 people, that's just a spattering, trust me. They have so many requests for refunds because they can't fill the order. They can't get it done. Well, it seems like Elon, who can't seem to get his Tesla manufacturing running smooth here in the U.S., has decided to jump feet first, believe me, into the Chinese electric car market. Now, it seems that he believes that China is the only place to produce the Model 3 at 10,000 units per week, so he can offer the car at a $35,000 base price. As I told you, China has a huge thirst for electric vehicles and offers government support to those companies of electric vehicles. However, there's a huge competition in China. I told you that startups, all the electric car company startups are popping up in China. There's a dozen of them already. The communist country, and you know what else I got to tell you? A communist country can be a pretty tough place to do business. Okay? If they decide they don't like you, it's off with your head. I don't know if I like that or not, but it is what it is. Well, speaking of Tesla, poor Elon. I haven't beat him up like that in a while, but guess what? Does any of that make sense to you? No. If it's such a great company, Why is he cutting out the stores? Why is he just going strictly internet? Why is he moving to China to get some government subsidy? Give me a break. Something is amiss here. Something is wrong. And he had a lot of people that invested a ton of money in Elon Musk's Tesla car. And they're not seeing any return on their car. Not a bit. Do you remember there was one other guy when when Tesla first came out? It was the Chevy Volt, the Tesla, and who else? Heinrich Fisker. Heinrich Fisker started with about $2 billion American dollars from the Department of Energy. Never built a car. He might have built one or two. It never happened. His batteries were bad, and then the battery company, his supplier, went bankrupt, and so he just kind of, his whole design, his whole everything just went out the window. And Heinrich Fisker did not have a car. Well, he takes and he sells the company to a Japanese concern. All the productivity, all the designs, all the the engineering, all the everything that they had, research and development that they had done, went to China. And Heinrich supposedly went away. Well, guess what? Heinrich did not go away. He is now launching a new car to rival with Tesla. It's going to be a $40,000 electric car. And he's going to relaunch the brand, which attracted celebrity buyers before a 2013 bankruptcy. The brand, Heinrich Fisker once led BMW. The guy's no dummy. He's a design engineer and he knows what he's doing, but apparently he's not real good with money. But he's not bad with his money. It's the American people's money he wasn't so pretty good with. And now he's not going to be around, but now he is going to be around. Now, is he going to be around for a long time this time, or a couple of months, and then I can't build this car? Well, we'll see. I for one would never buy a Fisker, not yet. I don't think he calls it. I don't think he can call it a Fisker either. I think he sold the brand name too, to the Chinese company. And there were a few Fiskers made back in the day, 2010, 2011, 2012. There might be 300 or 400 of them in existence, but that was the extent of his building cars, and most of those were prototypes. They had nothing to do with sales. I mean, people that got them bought them, but they were not the car you buy to go get groceries on Sunday, because they weren't dependable, they weren't fixable, and you couldn't get parts for them.